Did Bitcoin manipulation or did market manipulation cause the latest dump that caused over 1 million accounts to get liquidated, wiped over $1 trillion off the Bitcoin market or off the crypto market? Well, one of the people out there, or one person out there, is coming out, a whistleblower that says that it is easy to manipulate the crypto markets, and we've got the whistleblower here live. Guys, it's going to be the biggest show that we've ever done, so stay tuned until the end, because after that, we've got Bobby Lee, Charlie Lee's brother. He's joining us from San Fran to talk about the Chinese mining ban, and he was one of the biggest miners in China. Then after that, Michael Arrington from Arrington XRP Capital, probably the smartest investor in the world today, or certainly the best investor, one of the best investors in the world today. He's joining us live. And after that, we're going to be talking about the intersection of property and NFTs, which is something that probably should have happened sooner. Something that the property market really needs. That the property market is going to progress. It's going to solve a lot of problems. And then we're going to be talking about that. So today is going to be one of our biggest shows, so stay tuned until the end. If you're new to our channel, welcome. Welcome to Crypto Banter. This is the place where fundamentals meet technicals, and we're building the most profitable community on the entire crypto universe, in the entire crypto universe, or in the entire interweb. I don't even know how you say it. Freddie, how do you say it? Interwebs, that's what BitBoy says. In the whole entire interwebs. So guys, listen up. Like, subscribe, and share. Let's get through this very quickly because we've got a jam-packed show for you. I don't think I've ever had a show where I've had 4 guests back to back. Subscribe to our channel because that's the only way that you can win the banter bags. Last banter bags, we gave away about $700,000. This banter bags, we are giving away as much as we can by the time we hit 500,000 subscribers. In order to qualify, what do you need to do? Well, you need to be a subscriber to our channel. So subscribe to our channel today. We are going to select subscribers at random. When we get to 500,000 subscribers, we're just going to give away the bags. Yeah, exactly that. Just give away the bags. The bags are going to be huge. I mean, the last bags are worth $700,000. Probably the biggest giveaway in crypto history. Then, Sniper School is also free. If you want to join in on Sniper School, you know what you do? Go and follow our Instagram. Simple as that. Follow our Instagram, and then you will get your entry into Sniper School. Participate, like, comments. That's how we're going to be selecting winners. 100 people are going to be selected for the first class of Sniper School. What else, Freddie, before we start the big story of the show today? Okay, beware of the scammers. There are lots of people purporting to be us in the comments. They're not us. Don't give them money. We never ask for money. Everything is free. Everything we do at Crypto Banter is free. There's not even advertising on the site. What else, Freddie? Oh, yeah. Tomorrow, big day at Crypto Banter. Why? Raoul Paul is live. I want to know what altcoins that guy has in his portfolio because he was a Bitcoin bull, Bitcoin maximalist. No, don't even talk about bull. He was a maximalist. Then he started to tweet about Ethereum. I think now he's gone full DJ. Like I think that he's probably holding Matic. I think he probably bought SFI after I called it yesterday. I think he's buying DeFi now because I told him to buy DeFi. I was showing Fred this. I've got to show this to you guys. You can stake your DeFi tokens today. You can get, I don't know, to me, these look like incredible returns. On a USDC, DeFi USDC pair, which is probably quite a good pair to be staking, 955.33% APY, DeFi versus ETH. So there's good staking rewards there. And in full disclosure, you know, we hold these tokens, so we are definitely staking these tokens. Anyway, enough about that. We're not going to talk about altcoins just yet. Today, we have to talk about the big news of the day. And if you're not sure what that was, it was a tweet by a handle called 2Pauper. And 2Pauper runs or used to run a fully fledged blockchain marketing agency. And he came out with a tweet that exposes possibly the entire industry for market manipulation. And in this tweet, he details just how easily the crypto market can be manipulated and probably has been manipulated, maybe even for this dump. He starts off the tweet by saying, some inside info on FUD and fucking with markets by someone who's had blood on their hands many times before. This is going to be decently detailed, so sit down and take your time. I'll also give some proof as I dig through some old drives without doxing any clients. First, quick intro. Prior to my move to crypto, I was a senior executive in a dominant company in one of the most competitive sectors out there. My P&L alone was larger than most small nation assets. We were also highly regulated with over 125 licenses. Anyway, he moves to crypto. He services over 50 clients in crypto. And then he talks about how easy it is and how they used to create FUD on the market. So many other channels have actually reported on this. I think, if I'm not mistaken, BitBoy broke the news last night on his stream. So we thought we'd do one up on it, and we'd actually get the source with blood on his hands, a little bit of blood on his hands. Great guy. His name is 2 Pauper, and I want you guys to hear it from his mouth.
Hi guys.
There.
Hi guys. Thanks for having me. Hope everyone is doing fine and everyone has survived the dump relatively unscathed.
Well, we survived the dump, but we definitely scathed. There's no doubt about it.
You're not alone. In all fairness, even though I've experienced these things myself from the inside, it still did cost me a reasonably sized house. So
Of course. I mean, this dump caught us all unexpected. I want to talk to you about this, but before I talk to you about this, I want to understand what made you come out and write this tweet when you wrote this tweet. After the biggest dump in Bitcoin's history, you write a tweet about how easy it is to manipulate the markets. What caused this?
Okay. Basically, I ruminated over whether to do this or not for a couple of days. That's why there was a certain degree of lag between the dump and the tweet. The biggest reason was that I saw sheer panic in the market. I saw people that lost just about everything, portfolios wrecked. And I've seen this happen before. This isn't my first cycle. And I thought, listen, these bosses are going to keep on losing it all and losing it all and losing it all. And maybe if someone spells it out for them and puts it in front of their eyes, it will teach them not to play with leverage. It will teach them that when everything is looking brilliant, when everything is looking vertical and up to the right, that is when you're going to be hunted for your assets. Because
got it. Now let's talk about. So we know when the market's hot, there's a lot of incentive for people to manipulate the market either way. Talk to me about this kind of manipulation. Tell me about how you know about it, and maybe tell me a little bit about what you guys used to do.
Okay, so basically, our company was a full service blockchain company. So we did everything from Solidity development. So we developed some of the earliest ICO tokens, normal ERC20s. We built some really funky NFTs. This is when they were called 721s, which is their technical name, which at the time were not used to sell pixelated art, but rather they were used as safekeeping receipts for Swiss banks as proof of ownership of physical gold in their vault. So we did a lot of cool stuff like that for private banks and wealth management, etc. We also did my background is in marketing. So we also offered that on the side because it was obviously easy. We had the in-house knowledge of myself. So we began to offer PR, social media marketing, influencer marketing, because it's kind of an easy add-on. Once someone trusts you to build their code base, they're going to trust you to write their press release. So basically, it was an easy upsell add-on. That was the basic rationale behind it. Once we had clients that started actually raising funds and raising decent amount of money, they obviously started to come to us and asking us, listen, we now need to liquidate some of this capital, some of this ether generally to fund development, hire people, etc. So we structured an OTC trading desk that would allow them to trade in and out of both their ETH holdings, which isn't a big deal, but even a bit more sensitive were their own token holdings, because sometimes they would need to sell some of their tokens to raise capital.
Just to understand this correctly, and before I sorry to interrupt, but guys, smash the like button. We need to get this content out to the entire crypto industry. The only way to do it is if you guys smash the likes. I'm going to go back to it. So you set up an OTC, you developed a project, you helped the project with their marketing, and then you set up an OTC desk so that the projects could sell their own tokens, right? So they had tokens. They wanted to liquidate their own tokens either by the founders or by the treasury. And that's when you would spring into action, right?
Correct, and it's not even just bear in mind that this doesn't always have to be something super malicious. Founders have vesting periods, employees have vesting. There are early stage investors that have vesting. It is in your interest and in all the token holders' interest that if you've got some VC company that bought these tokens at pennies on the dollar compared to the general public, that they don't go out and dump them on an open exchange, that they sell them on an over-the-counter basis. Otherwise, everyone else is going to get wrecked.
So what
Bear
do
in
you
mind that.
So what do you do then? So you now need to get the price up. Tell me about how the manipulation works. How does it start?
Okay, so basically what happens is it initially starts as a way to find liquidity. This is all a game of liquidity and minimizing slippage. So say you need to sell, you want to sell 50 million worth of a token, and this token has say 100 million trading volume a day. That becomes a bit messy because it's going to really fuck up the chart. So what do? You have two options. You can either OTC it, or if you do not necessarily find someone who wants to buy this token for whatever reason, maybe it's not, it's still kind of a vaporware project. What you do is you need to drive up demand. So what you do is you start to release certain press articles through various news articles, news sites. These can be both mainstream, such as Bloomberg, Reuters, Forbes. Forbes was a favorite of ours because of their model, which basically is structured around them having thousands of contributors, but not actually any or very little staff writers, which means that anyone can more or less apply to get approved as a Forbes writer, publish on Forbes. Their system is you publish first, get moderated after, or at least it was that way, and you get your compensation is in line with the amount of traffic your story gets. I don't know the exact formula. So there are literally tens of thousands of Forbes contributors out there. Just go on LinkedIn, type Forbes contributor, and you'll be blown away. So this adds a lot of credibility to a project, and so what you do is you start pushing that out. Once it's out in Forbes, and that's a very credible news source in most people's eyes, then what happens is you begin to push it out to the kind of crypto press, and it becomes easy. It becomes a very easy job because you just cite Forbes, you just cite Bloomberg.
Hold on. I want to make sure that I really understand this. So you create a story which is either factual or not that factual. You go to a Forbes contributor that you pay the Forbes contributor $7,500. They write an article.
Oh, no. We used to charge the client $7,500. The Forbes contributor will do it for $1,000.
So you take $7,500 from the client. You pay the Forbes writer $1,500. He publishes the story. Now you've got a Forbes story, and now you pick up your Rolodex and you start phoning all the other news outlets saying, "Did you see the story that Forbes broke? Why aren't you on this? You're missing out. This is the biggest story of the year."
Correct. You also have a massive list of crypto influencers, people with paid groups, the usual kind of signal groups and all this. It's a hot mess, as we all know. Telegram channels, whatnot. I push it all out to them. The payouts are very small, for a lot of these groups, unless it's the very largest ones, and they will push this content out and promote and say, this is going to the moon. They'll draw up some chart that shows, like 100x price target on this, and people do start piling into it, and because it's pretty thin liquidity, what happens is the price starts to move. Bear in mind that most of these projects run market making bots that keep the volume going. So a lot of this volume is actually algorithmic, very thin liquidity, just making sure there aren't gaps in the chart and it looks kind of investable by someone. So generally, I want to
understand. It just sounds so easy to me. I just want to make sure that we completely aligned here. I create a news story which no one really fact check very well. I go to a Forbes writer or somebody else. I pay the Forbes writer to write the story. He publishes the story. I then phone all my friends and all the influencers and said, guys, have you seen the show? Do a tweet. Here's some money to do a tweet. Do a YouTube video. Here's some money to do a YouTube video. They then do it. You've now got all this price pump or price FUD. And the only person that doesn't know this is happening is the poor retail investor who's reading this influencer, Forbes, Reuters, everybody going one after the other, buying the tokens, and then the FUD, and then the people move on to the next story. Is that? So, have I got a bit?
So generally, what happens is once the price starts to pump up, generally that is your liquidity to sell. It doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to dump and send it to zero. It means that you can, whoever was looking to exit their liquidity can exit a chunk of their liquidity. Generally, if the client was smart, they would still, say 2x's, they would not sell it all the way back down to where it started from. They would, still leave instead of a 10x, they'd leave a 5x kind of pump or whatever. They would still leave a healthy step because that gives you ammo to go back. What it also does is it plays on retail investors' greed, which is, hey, this was at $100, now it's down to 50. I'm not going to sell it at $50. I'm going to hold till it's until it's 100 next time. The next time this happens, it will pump up to 150, and they won't sell it, and then down to 100. They won't sell at 100. They'll fucking hold. They'll buy more at 100 because it's going to go up to 150 next.
And all this time, insiders that are selling and creating the liquidity, I guess in regulated markets like equities, that's why they have a closed period, which says from the time when there is news published, a little bit before and a little bit after, no inside parties are actually allowed to sell any holding. And I guess that's what happens in regulated market. In a market that's unregulated, like the token market, it's a free-for-all, and the people who are paying the price are the retail investors at the end of the chain that don't really know this is happening. And I mean, I know this is happening because I've been asked many, many times to accept money to make YouTube videos, to promote a token. We will never do that. But I know that the other people that do, and unfortunately, that's what happens. It's the retail investor that actually lands up paying for it.
That is correct. But apart from insiders, this happens all the time in retail markets, in legacy markets. If you think about all the talking heads on CNBC, they'll go on and they'll start shilling their book. They start bringing up some random small, biotech firm or something of the sort that they're certain is going to moon or whatnot. The only reason they're doing that is to drive out the price of dump on you. Because why? If you really thought this company was going to moon, you wouldn't go on CNBC and shill it. You would buy it on the down. You'd keep it on the down low, and you'd buy as much of it as you can, as cheap as you can.
In the interest of time, I want to just run a thesis by you and tell me if you think that this may have happened. We just witnessed the biggest Bitcoin dump in history. And the dump was effectively spurred by news out of China, right? So are you saying that what could have happened, speculation, we don't know, what could have happened is that the news was not real or exaggerated. It was broken by one of the outlets mentioned on your list, or maybe not mentioned on your list. And then whoever wanted to get this news would have paid other people to keep writing the news. And ultimately, there's one source, but it spreads like a virus, basically, out of this one source.
So basically, when we see something of this sort, okay, generally the dream scenario for either engineering a pump or engineering a dump is a factual news event, and all you need to do is blow it out of proportion. So all you need to do is you need to be ready on the side, and you need to be considering it. It was the perfect storm if you think about it. The price was overextended, basis and funding was through the roof. Price was showing weakness. Lots of large institutions would have wanted to reload on this. A small news story breaks, and then what do you do? Yes, then you get that pushed out as far as possible. Someone posted in the thread a screenshot, a collage posted by Jesse Powell, the CEO of Kraken. and he spotted something really interesting. In almost all the articles that covered the crash, they used the same language. They mentioned the Bitcoin's price gyrations. Gyrations is not a common word. It's not something that you use every day when talking about markets, which indicates to me that this was lifted straight from a talking point, from a talking point doc that was shared. Yeah,
a press release. That's what it is.
Basically, yes.
Okay.
So yeah.
Are you still doing this, or are you out of this now? I mean, you mentioned
I sold
your hands.
Okay. No, I sold the company a few years ago. I am now happily retired. I am a very happy beach bum now.
With no more. You cleaned your hands today. Cleaned your hands today.
Yeah, this is my repentance. But there's one important thing I want to mention here, that there is not some cabal sitting somewhere in like a smoky basement that are planning to wreck and destitute retail investors. And there are no victims in this game. There are only parties just guilty of poor risk management and excessive leverage. Anyone who got liquidated was basically did it to themselves out of lack of discipline and out of excessive greed. You need to enter any. Pardon?
Go ahead.
You need everyone. It's no secret that crypto is extremely volatile, and it's no secret that in bull markets we get 30 to 50% dumps. So my word of advice to anyone watching is, if you're uneasy at the effect that this volatility had on your portfolio, it means that you are in too deep. Just take half off the table, sell it, and sit in spot, because stress will kill you. And what will happen is you will make a panic decision when it's at 30K or 28K. Price will rally back up, as it's invariably going to rally back up now. And you will regret that decision for selling life-changing amounts of money for the rest of your life. So the most successful people I've seen in the space, and I've dealt with a lot of them, have gotten rich slowly.
Amazing.
Listen,
it's been amazing chatting to you. I mean, I could chat to you for hours, but I've got a few more guests in the waiting room.
No worries. My pleasure. Everyone be safe.
Thank you for coming clean. Thank you for exposing this. It's been happening for a long time. No one's had the guts to expose it. So thank you for exposing it. I think you've made the community a lot smarter. And I think without doxing yourself, or without breaking other projects, you've got a direct line to us if you think it's happening again, and we can show people the game. Let's actually show people the game, so we make people more aware of the game.
Will do. Thank you for having me, and have a great day.
Thank you, my friend. Such a great honor to have you on Crypto Banter. Thank you, my friend.
Bye.
Guys, you've heard it. And I think I want to reiterate this. Not everything you read in the news outlets or on crypto Twitter is real. And I think what he said, and I know this because I've been in the big media stations. Someone lights a small fire, and the small fire starts off at a place like Forbes, for example. We're just using Forbes. We don't know if it is Forbes. And then everyone just copies the same article and the same article and the same article. And if that first source of news was garbage, then effectively everybody else is promoting garbage, and they're being paid to do it. Now, I've said it to you guys before. We never, ever, 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 ever accept any payments from any token whatsoever. We don't even accept advertising money from anyone who has a token, because we want to remain completely clean. But there are a lot of other YouTube channels, publications, etc., that do accept money for promotions and don't disclose it to you guys, which means you have to do your own research and you don't have to believe everything you read in the press. Now, on that note, the big question is whether we should believe that mining is actually banned in China. And, if you think that you can't decipher what's real and what's not in the West, imagine what's real and what's not coming from China. Now, I'm not sure that mining is actually banned in China. I'm not actually sure that the Chinese government is clamping down on mining. I'm just not sure. Why? Because I've heard this since 2013, 2017, every year China used to ban something else in Bitcoin and somebody else, and every year nothing happened. So what I decided to do was get Bobby Lee. Now, Bobby Lee is Charlie Lee's brother. Charlie Lee appears on the show quite often. He's the founder of Litecoin. Bobby Lee is a veteran in the crypto space, an OG. He used to run one of the biggest mining operations, I think, in China. In fact, let me ask him. Bobby, welcome to Crypto Banter.
Hello.
How are you, my friend?
Good, Ryan. Good to hear from you. Thanks for having me on your show.
So I didn't want to ruin the intro. Remind me how you were involved in mining in China, because I remember you used to run a very big mining operation.
Yes. So I ran BTCC. I was a co-founder and CEO. And under BTCC brand, we had a mining pool called BTCC Pool. So it's at one point, one of the number one, number two, or top three largest mining pools in the world. I think in its heyday in 2016 and 2017.
Why did you get out?
So the company got acquired. So in late 2017, early 2018, our company got acquired, and then I got out in 2018, essentially. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, you mean getting? Yeah.
For
so the new buyers took over the mining pool.
For many years, we've heard about mining being banned in China, crypto being banned in China. Is there any difference between where we were in 2017 and 2018 and where we're actually today? I mean, or is it just the same old stuff, regurgitated and regurgitated and regurgitated?
Yeah, the way China works is they seldom try to change the law, because changing the law is a bigger deal process that has actual documentation and all that stuff. What they prefer to do is they prefer to have the law be in its existing form, which sometimes can be vague, and then they just change the enforcement of it. So if you look at the recent announcements in the last week for crypto in China, Bitcoin and Bitcoin mining has not been banned in any more severe way than it was previously. In fact, all the announcements in this last 2 weeks from China stem from the same document announcement from 2017, and also refer back to the 2013 document, the 289 document from December 5th of 2018. And essentially, to promote, the intentions are very good, right? To promote a more orderly society with less risks, financial risks, people losing money from trading. They want to control and warn against trading of volatile cryptocurrencies. And mining is part of that, in the sense that now the state council got involved. The state council is the highest body in the government. So they're getting involved, and I think due to them getting involved, a lot of the provinces are now following up with tougher enforcement. And in fact, they've disallowed mining officially in the province of Inner Mongolia. So previously, Sichuan and Inner Mongolia were the two provinces that had a lot of renewable energy, hydropower, and so on. And those are the two provinces that had the vast majority of the mining in China, the cryptocurrency mining, Bitcoin mining, the hash rate, and so on. So Inner Mongolia has put a full stop to all mining activities in China. So I believe those mining farms will shut down very shortly. And I believe they will be selling their machines or moving their machines abroad to be hosted in other facilities outside of China to continue mining. So I think that's going to happen for real this time, in terms of the mining moving out of China.
You think that this is just stricter enforcement of something that has been going on for a long time, that everyone's just turned a blind eye to? I mean, surely the Chinese authorities know that there's been huge mining in Mongolia. Everyone knows it. I mean, everybody knows it. So
yeah,
saying the government just turned a blind eye, and now for some reason they're saying, okay, no, we're actually going to enforce this.
So remember, China society is a very command and control society, meaning that it's a very hierarchical, authoritarian sort of society in terms of how they execute things. That's why China is very productive and efficient and effective in terms of implementing its policies and so on and so forth. So it's not that they were turning a blind eye. It's just that, prior to this year, mining was not in the target, right? Mining was not under the radar. Mining was not considered something they wanted to stop. What they did stop is they wanted to stop cryptocurrency trading, leverage trading, and so on and so forth. So that stuff stopped in, since 2017. But the mining never stopped because there was no strong mandate to stop the mining. But this year it changed. So the law didn't change, but the enforcement changed. Yeah.
Okay, I understand to a greater or less extent why China wouldn't want cryptocurrency trading in the country. You could say that they want to protect their citizens. You could also say that they wanted to stop money laundering or exchange controls money leaving China. I get that. What I don't get is Bitcoin mining is a net inflow game. You produce ASICs in China, you mine in China, and you bring money from the West into China, right? Because that's why would China take a step to ban it? I mean, even more, why would Mongolia, which is not the richest state or not the richest province, why would Mongolia give up on what could potentially be a huge income stream where the income is derived primarily from the West?
So Mongolia, Inner Mongolia certainly doesn't want to give up the income stream from the mining operations, all the electricity, the rent, and all that stuff. There's a lot of income involved. I don't think they necessarily want to give that up, but it's under the central government policy, right? The central government says they want to, enforce against crypto mining in China, and Inner Mongolia has to obey. It's just how the command and control structure works. So there's no question about that. Now the issue is, what you asked a broader question: why does China want to ban mining? So what happens is, if you look at crypto trading, still a lot of the trading happens in China, despite the fact that there are no exchanges in China. Well, why is that? Well, the reason is several of the largest exchanges. There's the 3 largest exchanges, all cater to the Chinese market. They literally service Chinese customers, Chinese IP addresses, Chinese names, Chinese citizens, and they do it because they offer the service over VPN. So even though their websites and mobile apps are blocked by the Great Firewall of China, the users in China still can still get to those 3 exchanges through VPN software. And furthermore, they have deployed an army of money changers, people who allow for changing of renminbi into the stable coin, the USDT. So USDT is used as intermediate currency for people to buy and sell cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin. So that's been going on sort of on the side in the underground economy for the last 3-4 years since the official ban of exchanges in China. So in order to root out all trading activity, the government decided that the only logical next step was to ban mining, because people who do the mining, they have to sell their coins too. So in other words, they can't just leave mining open, because mining will have to create the need for people to sell their coins and allow people to buy their coins from the miners. So they're trying to stamp out all crypto trading. I think that's their intention, at least. So that's why they're targeting mining next. And I think once they take out mining, I don't know what's left. It's going to be very, very slim pickings.
Oh, it's going to be the launch of the digital yuan, or the continued launch of the digital yuan, and then China wins the race against crypto. Bobby, you sent me this around in celebration of Bobby's book launch, Bitcoin on sponsored and made possible by Elon Musk and the Chinese regulators. Are you saying that you shorted the market? Are you saying that we can now get the 30% off?
So that's a joke. So I certainly did not pre-plan this with Elon Musk nor the Chinese regulators. I wish they were on my side and could help me promote my book. But the joke is that they obviously, people know now, looking back a week ago, Elon Musk started walking back on Bitcoin. That's when Bitcoin took a dump from 60K to 50K to 40K. And then when China regulation, did that quick second act, Bitcoin fell down to 30K at the lowest. So the joke is that, and that was right around May 18th, May 19th, the day I launched my book. So the joke is that in celebration of my book launch, they helped me, put Bitcoin on sale, right? Now, obviously, the Bitcoin price going down hurt a lot of people. A lot of people lost money. Hopefully not many people were on leverage trading, because that's when you lose your pants. I definitely don't advocate investing using leverage products. I advocate investing in Bitcoin and hodling it with a cash position and not be leveraged. But in any case, the flip side is that when Bitcoin prices are low, it's an opportunity. It's an opportunity for new people to come in to buy Bitcoin at a lower price. New people always complain about expensive price of Bitcoin. They always wait for the pullback. And I've always told people, you don't want to wait for the pullback, because when the pullback comes, you get scared and you're not going to buy. And this time it's proving my point. The pullback has come so severely. I keep telling my producer, when the price went down over the weekend, you should have bought. He's buying now. He's sitting here
while I'm on the thing, he's sitting here buying tokens. Fred, what do you buy? Bobby, quickly, in 1 more minute, what is the contents of the book? If we buy the promise of Bitcoin, what do you promise us?
Yeah, if you read it, it's basically for a new audience. It's for the common person, the everyday person. It's not a tech-focused book. I explain Bitcoin. So I've been in Bitcoin for 10 years now. So this is my 10-year anniversary since early spring of 2011. So when I started getting involved in Bitcoin and mining. In any case, this book summarizes sort of my 10-year journey in Bitcoin in terms of what I've learned about Bitcoin, why it's a compelling investment asset class. So I try to explain to everyday people using plain English everything regarding Bitcoin. I talk about the horsemen of Bitcoin, the exchanges, the mining, and the wallets. Those are the 3 cornerstone industries of Bitcoin. I talk about my 15. I end the book with 15 predictions for the future of Bitcoin. I talk about regulation. I talk about why and how to buy Bitcoin from a sort of emotional perspective. So a lot of things should be fun to read.
Got it. Look, the last time we had a book on our show, we made it a bestseller in 2 days. So in 48 hours, it became the bestseller on Amazon.
Wow.
So I'm saying to the community again, Bobby Lee is a friend. Bobby Lee has been around for 10 years. The guy is a legend and a master. And if he's made 15 predictions, then I want to know what the 15 predictions are. So here's the deal, guys. You can get it on Amazon, right?
Yes, Amazon. Absolutely.
Okay. You go to Amazon, you buy Bobby Lee's book. You read the book. If you don't like the book, you send me a note to run in his Twitter and you say, I didn't like the book, and then I refund you the money. Okay? So that's how it works. But you got to DM me on Twitter. And that's limited to like 100 books. But you guys will love the book. Buy Bobby's book. Let's make Bobby's book a bestseller. We managed to do it with Ched's book. Let's smash this one out of the park.
Great.
Bobby, thank you, my friend. Good to see you. Good to see you. Good to see you.
Good to see you guys.
Cool. So Bobby Lee, legend. You got to read the book. You know, the next guy that I'm bringing on here. Okay. There's some people in your life that you take great lessons from. You don't spend a lot of time with, but every time you do, you take great lessons from. Like the lesson that I learned from this next guest is how to be a good investor. Basically, I think he's the best investor in the world. If you ask me, I think he's the best investor in the world. I'll tell you why. He may not do the best research. Maybe he does, maybe he doesn't. He's certainly the most networked investor in the world. And every single one of his investments love him. And I guess that's the lesson that I've learned from him, that sometimes you need to give up profit to be a good investor. And when you do give up the profit to be a good investor, you will get way more opportunity. And so I think that the way that he gets all of his deals is because people know that he's a good investor and they want him on the cap table. And that, of course, is none other than Michael Arrington. He was the founder of TechCrunch, which got bought out. And now he's full-time in crypto. We used to travel the world together, but we haven't traveled the world together for a long time. Michael, how are you, my friend?
Well, I'm pissed. What is this about me not doing good research?
I think you don't. You know, like you do good research, but I mean, that's not your strong point. Your strong point is your relationships.
Look, I'll take the compliment, but we also I think you also said I don't always worry about profit or something. But anyway, good morning, and it was very kind of you to say that. I tweeted out that I'm on the show with the office picture of Michael Scott with the world's best boss mug, because you're saying I'm the world's best investor. So thanks for the award. I'll accept it graciously. And do I get a statue? What do I get?
Yeah, we'll send you an NFT. We'll say now we don't do anything physical anymore. It all becomes NFTs. That's what it is right now.
I would like to accept my NFT. Hey, Bobby was great. I was watching obviously backstage. I bought his book. I didn't know he had a book coming out. I like that guy. He's a good guy.
Look, if you don't enjoy the book, tweet me, and then I'll refund you the money that you paid for the book.
Yeah, I heard you say that. That could, I'm sure I'll enjoy the book, but thank you for the offer to refund my money.
So listen, we haven't had you on one of my shows for a long time. The last time we had you on
too early because I currently live West Coast US and it's just too early. But if I move, it looks like I'm moving to Miami, so hopefully I could be on more often.
You're going to be in Miami next week, right?
Yeah.
Amazing. Well, we'll see you in Miami.
Are you there now, or where are you now?
I'm in Cape Town. I am hopefully leaving on Saturday to get to Miami on time. If Delta stop canceling my flights, they keep canceling the flights because I don't know why, but they keep canceling flights. So I should be in Miami early next week, and then we can hook up and we can.
I can't wait to see you.
Yeah, I can't wait to live in the same city as you, because then we're going to get up to lots of mischief.
It's going to be fun. Yeah.
So
Do you
listen,
want to talk about crypto? What are we talking about today?
Let's talk about crypto. I mean, we can carry on talking for a long time. We haven't spoken about crypto for a long time. I know that you guys are very actively investing, because every time I invest in something, the Arrington XRP logo is there, and that's like my cue to get in. Love to hear what you guys are looking at, what's your investment thesis now, where you think we are in the cycle.
Yeah. Well, so we're a barbell strategy hedge fund. So we do a lot of trading. And so I was listening. Actually, I'm not sure who your guest was before Bobby. His name wasn't up on the screen. Who was that? Is it interesting?
Two comma pauper.
Okay, well, it was super interesting. So we have a trading team, and then the other side of the business is private investing, and that's what I focus on the most. Our thesis is what I've been investing in Silicon Valley most of my life. The thesis is the same. You look at the founder. The ideas are always interesting, but the founder is what matters. You're looking for certain personality traits in a founder, and you're looking for somebody that can go the distance, even if the idea ends up flaming out, that they can pivot into something else. Good founders just don't lose. They might lose short term, long term, it's good to back them.
And are you saying that you're completely sector agnostic? You don't look at sector?
Oh yeah. I mean, we only invest in crypto. I think technically we can invest in anything we want, but we only invest in crypto. But other than that, completely agnostic. Yeah, we're all over the place, and we weren't very deep into DeFi in the early days. We got very into DeFi last year. I think we're one of, if not the most active investor in the Polkadot ecosystem. And we got our start in XRP, and so and now we're doing a lot of NFT stuff. So yeah.
Okay, so you talk about the Polkadot ecosystem. Let's talk about some of the exciting projects in that ecosystem, because we're all in on Polkadot. I mean, we love Polkadot. Talk to us about like the interesting projects, interesting sectors within Polkadot.
Well, I think the first two investments we made after we invested in Polkadot in DOT were I think Akala and Moonbeam in that order, and those are probably the two most well-known projects that are getting ready to launch. They're both like super interesting what they're doing, and you can look at, we don't have a lot of time here, but the main thing about them is the founding team. So the Akala founding team, I think they're actually, all of them are in New Zealand, and they are aggressive and smart and also kind. They're just nice people. Moonbeam, US based, Boston, I think, maybe. American founders and aggressive.
It's the Ethereum, the EVM execution on the Polkadot network, which kind of makes the Ethereum chain on Polkadot, if you were to simplify it.
Yeah, but we work with the Web3 Foundation, and I think we've done probably 10 Polkadot investments, and most of them probably aren't public yet. So we're really deep into that ecosystem, as we've gotten deep into the Terra ecosystem, which I know you're familiar with as well. And so.
Let's talk about inside Polkadot. The one thing that I haven't seen a lot of is automatic market makers, or the DEXs, or the Uniswap on Polkadot. Have you seen anything interesting?
I think I invested with you in a couple of DEXs on Polkadot. Yeah, there's stuff coming. I mean, it's like imminent.
PolkaSwap, Polkadex are the two that I've seen, I think. But for me, that must be the biggest play, because we know that that's definitely going to work. I mean, we know that you need an AMM, especially when you go across chain, across all the parachains, you need to have something.
It is, it's interesting because it's not hard to see how it will work. You need a Uniswap on these different ecosystems. So it's not like the most innovative thing in the world, but each ecosystem needs its own DEX, and it's an obvious sort of bet. What we like to do is find the ones with the right teams, and then the ones with the right connections to the main project, to the core project, to make sure that they have the information they need to succeed.
Okay, let's talk about my other favorite child, and that is, of course, Luna. I think we both were early ICO investors.
Yeah.
Luna. That thing has taken off like a rocket. I mean, those guys are the smartest, most talented guys in the game, I think.
Luna's an example of like investing in the right horse, the right founder. So we invested, you and I and others, invested in 2018. And the idea then was it was an e-commerce play in Korea where you could use their coin, which was a stable coin to the won, and you could buy stuff online and you get a discount. That discount was paid with seniorage. And you invested, we invested, and we held. And it went really well, and then it just didn't do well because the whole market crashed. We held through that. I assume you did as well. And then they pivoted. They didn't pivot, but they added to it. And they started adding Mirror and Anchor and all these other services that have just exploded and created a use case for Luna that wasn't even contemplated in 2018. And it's been fantastic. It hasn't been fantastic the last week, but it was super fantastic up until then.
So you got Mirror Protocol, you got Anchor Protocol. Yeah. Anchor Protocol is the lending protocol that gives you 20% on if you invest.
Crazy.
Mirror Protocol allows you to trade synthetic assets. They've got the app, the spending app, which is called the Chai or Chia app. That's
Chai is like less important. I mean, it's important in Asia and Korea, but Mirror lets you buy synthetic stocks. So in Korea and other places outside the US, it's super hard to buy US equities, tax reasons and different jurisdictional issues. Mirror lets you buy them in the easy way with DeFi. And it's just super amazing. And it's competitor Synthetics. Synthetics also a huge, great company. But what Mirror is doing has been fantastic, and a lot of people have made a lot of money on that. Anchor, as you said, 20% return rate. I put personal money into Anchor, just loaning them the money for the 20%. And it's not insured yet, so I wouldn't urge everyone to pile money into that, but it's going to be soon, and it's fantastic.
Yeah, I must say, I'm an investor in Terra or Luna, and I've also staked money on Anchor Protocol. I've got a reasonable amount staked on Anchor Protocol, which has been amazing. And they keep launching, or if I understand correctly, they're going to keep launching new protocols to create usage for the stablecoin, which is
yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And also there's third parties now. So the ecosystem around Luna, I think we've invested again in 5 or 7 ecosystem companies that are different founders. One was a spin-off, a guy that left Luna and started a company called Alice in Los Angeles. But we're investing in all of those as well. So once you find the ecosystem, you find the best founders, you invest all over the place. What
about Solana? Are you guys bullish on Solana?
We fucked up. Oh, are we allowed to swear here? I think we are. People swear.
We swear here. We swear.
So Solana's a hard one for me. It's in San Francisco. We knew the team well. We knew them early. We passed. I think the first time in 2018. I think we even knew about them in 17, and it was a bad decision. It's like maybe I can't be the world's best investor anymore. But we just passed. Then we passed again, and then just to make sure, we passed one last time before they went liquid, and we should have said yes to all of those times. And so we did not. It was one we missed. Now we made up for it now that it's liquid a little bit, but we lost some massive gains. Solana didn't see it coming. Maybe because our research sucks so much, because you said our research is no good. The founding team is amazing.
I said everyone has to have their core strengths, and you've taught me some very big life lessons in the way that you operate. With that, I do respect your research. I know your research team pretty well.
I'm kidding. But our researchers are going to be sad to hear you say that.
Well, that's why I don't want to come on the show, because they're based in some crazy time zone where our time zones just don't mix.
It feels like you're winding down with me now. Are you having Natalia from Proppy on later this morning?
Who said I'm winding down with you? I mean, that's such a crazy. I haven't even started, man. I mean, usually I've got to screw in.
I read the signals wrong. No, I read the signals wrong. So yeah, let's go. I got hours.
What about investing in the ecosystem around Solana? Like, what about like all these new projects, the Oracle projects? I saw an Oracle project today called Pyth Network, PYTH. I'm seeing Symmetry. I'm seeing a whole lot of other investments on Solana. I mean, is this not the right time to be getting into the ecosystem around Solana?
Well, look, Solana has proven itself it's here to stay, right? There's real stuff built on Solana already. So ecosystem plays on Solana makes sense. The only thing I'd caveat that with is whenever something's really hot, like Solana or Luna, and also Polkadot, you're seeing a lot of fraudulent startups pop up around it. So you need to be careful that just because something says Solana in it, that it's real. And you gotta have your bullshit detector on.
Polka Play, Polka Watch, Polka See, Polka Eat, Polka Do, and none of them are ever going to be parachains.
Right.
Okay, last one before we bring Natalia, the lovely Natalia, because I really want to spend more time with her than with you. You'd be surprised.
Told you were winding down.
What about Cardano? I mean, Cardano hasn't launched smart contracts. Are you guys investors in Cardano? Are you looking at the ecosystem?
We have been investors in Cardano. Currently, we hold Cardano, but not a overweight position. Love the founders, love the project. Slightly less excited about Cardano than I am about Solana and some of the other layer ones, but it's a good team. Yeah.
Amazing. Okay, let's talk about Natalia's project and Natalia's
Yeah.
NFT. And actually bring her into the conversation. I saw she's here, but I can't see her face. Natalia, are you like around? Are you with us? Mike, do you have oh, here she is. Natalia, how are you?
Good, thank you. Thank you so much for inviting me today.
Fantastic. Mike, I'm going to put you in the waiting room for a second. We may bring you back into the conversation. Are you guys in the same house? Are you guys in the same house? Just so I understand this. Are you like
We're like 20 feet away from each other. Yeah.
Yes. Amazing, amazing, amazing.
I stay very close to our CEOs. Once we invest, I stay very physically close to them. So I will be in your house watching you. Yeah. Also, we're getting married, but yeah, you can kick me out. That's fine. You can talk to Natalia.
I'm going to bring you back there. So the reason why I love this segment is because Natalia, I met Natalia in 2017, I think, 2016 or 2017. And I asked her what she was doing, and she said to me, I'm going to put property on the blockchain. And I got to be blunt. Like when I heard she's going to put property on the blockchain, I was like, good luck to you. You've got a mountain to climb that you're never going to climb because it's probably the most red tape that you can have in any industry in the world ever. And then she didn't give up. She ran a capital raise, an ICO back in the day. She started property, raised a capital raise, started making progress. But yesterday I read an announcement, and this is the announcement that I read yesterday. This is an apartment which is being sold as an NFT. Now, there are about 10,000 reasons why I think that that is the biggest game changer in property. I'm going to detail them before we get into the discussion. The first thing is, the minute that you make an NFT, the title deed for a property, you prevent every single type of fraud that is possible because the property ownership is now listed on the NFT. That's cool. Everybody knows that. The second thing is, and for me, the most exciting thing is, you no longer have to pay for the whole property up front. You can sell the property, and every time that the NFT changes hands, the creators, the builders, the developers can get more and more and more. So I think using an NFT or putting property on NFTs and putting them on the blockchain is the biggest disruption to the property industry in the world. Natalia, have I got it right? Have I missed anything?
Absolutely. You're right that, first of all, in 2017, when we met, myself, I couldn't ever believe that peer-to-peer transaction in real estate is a possibility in the next 10 or 20 years. When we launched our white paper, we were claiming to do conveyance of real estate property ownership via smart contracts, but peer-to-peer transactions, I used to call it as a utopian concept. Now, suddenly, it's possible. And you're right that the main benefit to NFT a property is to make it liquid and to make it possible to use as a collateral and to borrow against the NFT real estate, just like you borrow against Ether, Bitcoin, or other coins.
Okay, so now you guys, if I read this article correctly, there's an apartment, and the apartment is actually an NFT, and you're selling the NFT and the apartment, right?
We are selling the ownership to the apartment. And this sounds crazy, but it's the first ever transaction of real estate via an NFT. It's a proof of concept. This is why we chose an apartment that has a starting price $20,000 only. And I can explain how it works so you understand what is attached to what.
Go for it. Tell me how it works.
Awesome. So currently we're choosing a platform where the bidding will happen. The bidders will bid for the home ownership of this beautiful, modern studio apartment that you're showing now. When the winner will win this bid, they will get access to 3 digital assets: the property picture, this wall art, and the most important, they will get an access to a QR code on the picture that will lead them to paperwork. And this paperwork is very simple. The winner will have to only provide their name and few other pieces of information, and immediately the winner will become the owner of the property. So we've developed this very unique legal framework that allows an owner of the NFT to become the owner of the property within a minute.
Does that mean that the title deed for the property is now connected somehow to the NFT? And the reason why I asked that is because that would mean that the authorities have had to agree that the title deed can be linked to an NFT, right?
Yeah, that's a great question. And we've developed a concept where we would detach home ownership from governments, from governmental land registries, county recording systems, because they are not reliable, they're not immutable, and so on and so on. And the way we're doing it is we are transferring real estate ownership via legal entities. So this apartment, for example, is already owned by a US-based LLC, a legal entity. And so that's the secret sauce. In 2017, when Michael Arrington acquired this property via smart contracts on Propi, he did it via LLC, a Delaware registered entity. And thus, currently, the record in the Ukrainian land registry states that the owner is this particular LLC. Now, from this very moment, we can trade the LLC and the home ownership attached to it endlessly. And that's the premise of the NFT, right? This liquidity that is provided by transferring ownership nonstop. And this is what we anticipate to do in the United States as well. And, it's a very common practice to acquire real estate via entities, either a trust or LLC. Most of the US home buyers are doing that to protect their privacy. And then the next step is, once the land registry has the record that it's LLC, why not we, just like Carta, trade equity? Now, one important part is that Propi will be this trusted company that will verify and maintain those LLCs and verify that they're all clean and that they are used only to do home ownership.
Wow, that is absolutely insane. Now, I want to bring Michael back to the conversation. So, Mike, she's clearly the smarter one of the two of you. I said, she's clearly the smarter of the two of you.
Yeah. She's smart. Yep.
How much do you
I can't even figure out how to make the camera work.
How much do you think this apartment's going to sell for?
Oh, there's just no upside to guessing that. It starts at 20,000. I think that's a steal for the actual physical property. But we don't really care how much it goes for, right? I mean, just what idea here is to see if it works, see if it trades afterwards, and then go from there. Yeah.
Wow, guys, listen, that's absolutely incredible. When does this thing go on auction? Are you still selecting an auction site? Do we know any of that yet?
Yes, we know the date. It's 8th of June, so coming up soon, right after the Bitcoin Miami conference. And the platform will be announced this Friday.
Absolutely.
I know the platform, but we're not allowed to say yet. So, one thing I just want to
Come on, I won't tell anyone. I'm not going to tell anyone.
No, I will. I'll tell you just offline. Yeah. But in a couple days, we'll tell you. If you want, you can announce it first. That'd be fun.
Okay.
Yeah.
We want to announce it first. In fact, we want to actually watch. How long will the bid be open for?
24 hours.
Okay. Guys, listen, I love you both. I'll see you next week in Miami. We've got a minute left, so I've got to let you both go. Thank you. Sorry to wake you
Thanks,
up.
Ryan.
The world needs to hear this. The world needed to hear this information, guys.
Thank you so much, Ryan.
Bye.
See you next week. See you both next week. Talk about power couple. Love those guys. Can't wait to see them next week in Miami. Haven't seen them for a while because of lockdown. I mean, they were paranoid about lockdown. They were paranoid about getting COVID. And so we didn't see each other for a long time. Guys, I will see you again tomorrow. Big show tomorrow again. Don't forget tomorrow. Raoul Paul live right here on Crypto Banter. Until then, my friends, give us one more like, because this was like the biggest show we've ever had. Love you guys. See you guys tomorrow, 10 a.m. EST, 6 a.m. EST for Sheldon Show. And then Friday, the big banter. See you then.
Crypto Banter is a social podcast for entertainment purposes only. All opinions expressed by the hosts, guests, and callers should not be construed as financial advice. Views expressed by guests and hosts do not reflect the views of the station. Listeners are encouraged to